You are not going to believe what happened. Seriously, grab a drink, because this is going to take a while. My wife, Ashley, yeah, Ashley, she's 32, and honestly, sometimes I feel like I'm talking to a teenager. She drops this bomb on me, out of nowhere. We're sitting there, having dinner, the kind of quiet dinner where you can just feel the tension hanging in the air, you know? Like, it's thick enough to cut with a knife. And then she just says it. Living apart would save our marriage, she says, all calm and collected, like she's talking about the weather. I almost choked on my chicken. I mean, holy crap, right? What do you even say to that? I just stared at her. My mind was racing, trying to figure out if this was some kind of test, some trick she was pulling. Because, between us, that's her move. Always has been. I remember when we first met. I was 26, fresh out of a relationship that was going nowhere fast, and she was this whirlwind. We clicked, or at least I thought we did. She was fun, exciting, always up for anything. I mean, she had this way of making me feel like I was the only person in the room, the only one who mattered. And yeah, I like that. Who wouldn't? We moved in together pretty fast, maybe too fast, looking back. My friends, they tried to tell me. Slow down, Jessica, they'd say. You don't even know her that well. But I just laughed it off. What did they know? I was in love. Or at least I thought I was. The thing about Ashley is, she's got this public persona, right? When we're out with friends, she's all smiles, arm around me, laughing at my jokes, acting like we're the perfect couple. And everyone buys it. Oh, you two are so cute together, they'd say. Relationship goals. And I'd just smile and nod, playing along. But then we'd get home, and it's like a switch flipped. Suddenly I'm the bad guy. Everything I did, everything I said, it was wrong. My job, my hobbies, my friends, she'd just subtly tear it all down. Like I'd come home from work, tired, and she'd be like, "Oh, you're home already? Did you even do anything today, or were you just messing around at the office?" And I'd just blink. What? I was at work, doing my job. But it was always something. And the money situation? Oh, don't even get me started. From the beginning, she was super clear. My money is my money, and your money is our money. So, my paycheck, it went into the joint account, covering rent, bills, groceries, car payments, everything. Her money? That was her little secret stash for her shopping trips, her fancy coffee, her little treats. And if I ever dared to ask about it, she'd just shut down. Tears would well up, or she'd just go completely silent, giving me the cold shoulder for days. Like, you're questioning my financial independence? After all I do for this relationship? As if she was doing anything besides spending my money. It was maddening. I remember one time, my car needed a major repair. Like, a major repair. I was freaking out about how we were going to pay for it, and she just shrugged. Well, you should have saved more, she said, while scrolling through her phone, looking at some expensive new bag she wanted. Between us, I wanted to scream. So, when she dropped the living apart bomb, I was caught off guard, but also not entirely surprised. It was just the latest in a long line of moving goalposts. First, it was about me not spending enough time with her. Then it was about me spending too much time at my job. Then it was about my friends saying they were a bad influence. Like one time, I wanted to pick up painting again, something I loved to do before we met. And she just kept making little digs. Oh, you're going to be an artist now? What, are we going to live in a garret and eat ramen every night? Or if I talked about going to the gym, it was, are you trying to impress someone, or just trying to look better than me? It was exhausting. Anything that didn't involve her, anything that was my thing, she found a way to discourage it. So, what does that even mean, Ashley? I asked, trying to keep my voice calm, even though my insides were doing flips. Like a separation? She looked at me, her eyes all wide and innocent. No, honey, not a separation, she said like I was being dramatic. Just, we need space. To rediscover ourselves. To appreciate what we have. And then she launched into this whole speech about how it would make us stronger, how absence makes the heart grow fonder, all that junk. She was so good at making everything sound like it was my fault, or our fault, never her fault. Like I was the one who was pushing her away. She even brought up some personal stuff from her past, a little trauma she had, and how this was her way of coping. Weaponized vulnerability, that's what it was. Every time I tried to talk about something that was bothering me, she'd bring up her past, and suddenly, I was the insensitive one, the bad guy for even mentioning my feelings. "You're being dramatic," she'd say. "It's not that serious." Or, "Why do you always have to make everything a big deal?" My feelings were never valid. It was always about her. So, the next thing I know, we're looking for a new place for her. Not me, of course. She wanted to move to a small apartment across town. Just for a few months, she promised. "We'll see how it goes." And like an idiot, I went along with it. I mean, what else was I going to do? She made it sound like I had no choice. She was already half-packed, metaphorically speaking, before she even told me her grand plan. She was like a secret keeper, always had these inappropriate boundaries with other people, but then she'd check my phone, asking me who I was texting, what I was looking at. And if I ever tried to bring up something she was doing, like when she was always talking to her work friend, Mark, at all hours, she'd get defensive. "He's just a friend. You're so insecure." But then if I even looked at another woman, she'd be all over me, questioning my friendships, acting like I was cheating. Double standards all day, every day. Anyway, Ashley moves out. And for the first week or two, it's weird. Really weird. The apartment is quiet, too quiet. I'm used to her noise, her nagging, even her arguments. And suddenly it's just me. I'm eating microwave meals, watching whatever I want on TV, leaving my dirty clothes on the floor if I feel like it. No one to tell me I'm doing it wrong. It was kind of liberating, actually. I won't lie. I felt lighter. Then, her sister, Chloe, starts calling me more. Chloe is a few years younger than Ashley, maybe 28. She always seemed different from Ashley. Kinder, I guess. Less high-strung. When Ashley and I were together, Chloe was always around, but she kept her distance, you know? Like she was trying not to get caught in the crossfire. But now, with Ashley gone, Chloe started calling me. "Just checking in," she'd say. "How are you doing, Jess? Is Ashley okay?" At first, I thought she was just being nosy, trying to get information for Ashley. But then her calls started getting longer. We'd talk about everything. My day at work, her job, what we were watching on TV. She'd listen, really listen, to what I was saying, without interrupting or making it about herself. It was refreshing. And then she started coming over. Just to hang out. "Ashley's busy, and I didn't want you to be alone," she'd say. We'd order pizza, watch movies, just chill. And it was nice. Really nice. She didn't judge me, didn't try to pick apart everything I said. She actually seemed to enjoy my company. I probably should have seen this coming, right? My brain was telling me, "This is Ashley's sister, this is wrong, this is a terrible idea." But my heart, or whatever, was just enjoying the company. The easy conversation. The lack of tension. One night, we were watching some dumb comedy, and she just leaned her head on my shoulder. And I didn't pull away. In fact, I leaned into it. And that's when everything clicked. It was a split second, a moment where my panic thoughts jumped in, telling me how dumb this decision was, how messy it was going to get. But then, the other part of me, the part that was so tired of being walked all over, so tired of the hot and cold behavior, the gaslighting, the constant invalidating of my feelings, it just said, "Who cares?" So, yeah? Things with Chloe escalated. Fast. It wasn't planned, not really. It just happened. She was just so easy to be around. She complimented me. She listened. She actually seemed to care about what I thought and felt. It was a stark contrast to Ashley, who always expected grand gestures while giving minimal effort herself. Ashley, who would threaten to break up with me over minor disagreements, holding our relationship hostage. Ashley, who would make promises about our future, but I always knew she had no intention of following through. One afternoon, Ashley calls me. She's all sweetness and light, acting like nothing's wrong. "Honey, I miss you so much," she says. "I was thinking maybe you could come over to my place this weekend? We could have a romantic dinner." And I just froze. My mind was reeling. Chloe was actually at my apartment, in the other room. We were supposed to go get groceries together later. My immediate thought was, oh crap. But then I caught myself. Why was I feeling guilty? Ashley was the one who wanted to live apart, who initiated all of this. She was the one who made me feel like I was going crazy, always gaslighting me, making me question my perceptions and memory. So I just said, I can't, Ashley. I'm busy this weekend. Got some plans? And I could practically hear her frown through the phone. Plans? What kind of plans? She asked, her voice turning cold. Just personal stuff, I said, vague as could be. I wasn't going to tell her. Not yet. The next few weeks were a blur of sneaking around, of whispered phone calls, of trying to keep Chloe and Ashley separate. It was exhausting, honestly. But also thrilling. Chloe and I were closer than ever. She didn't try to control me, didn't compare me to others, didn't use my deepest fears against me during arguments like Ashley always did. She was just Chloe. And I felt like I could finally breathe. Then came the day it all blew up. Ashley called me, frantic. My credit card got declined, she yelled into the phone. What's going on, Jess? Why isn't there any money in our account? And I just sighed. It was the same old story. She'd spent her own money, or what little she had, and now she was expecting me to bail her out again. Well, Ashley, I said, trying to sound calm, I've been covering all the bills here, and your apartment rent, and your car payment. My money isn't endless, you know. She went silent for a moment, and I could practically feel her simmering. You're telling me you don't have money for my emergencies? She snapped. After everything I've done for you? I just rolled my eyes. Everything she'd done for me? That was a laugh. Later that day, I was at work, and I got a text. From Chloe. It was a picture. A picture of Ashley's new apartment. And in the background, plain as day, was her old high school sweetheart, Mark. The same Mark she was always texting, the one she swore was just a friend. He was sitting on her couch, looking way too comfortable. My stomach dropped. So, she wasn't just rediscovering herself. She was rediscovering Mark. That cheating bitch. And she was blaming me for not having money when she was clearly spending it on her little rendezvous. That's when I called Ashley. My voice was shaking, but not from sadness, from pure rage. So, Mark's just a friend, is he? I spat into the phone. Silence. Then, How did you know? She stammered. Doesn't matter how I know, Ashley. What matters is, you've been lying to me this whole time. Saving our marriage, my butt. You were just trying to get rid of me so you could play house with him. She started crying then, the fake, manipulative tears she always used to get her way. No, Jess, it's not like that. He was helping me out. You don't understand. Oh, I understood all right. I understood everything. I told her I wanted a divorce. I told her to keep her precious apartment, and her precious Mark. I told her I was done. And then, I made a mistake. A really dumb mistake. I told Chloe. I went over to her place, still fuming, and I just blurted it all out. How Ashley was cheating, how I found out, how I was divorcing her. Chloe's face went pale. She was with Mark? She whispered. And I nodded, feeling a perverse satisfaction. Yeah, she was. Chloe just looked at me, and I could see the wheels turning in her head. A few days later, after I officially told Ashley that I was done, Chloe started acting weird. Distant. Her calls became shorter, her texts less frequent. I tried to talk to her, to figure out what was going on. Chloe, what's wrong? Are you okay? I'd ask. She'd just mumble something about being busy, about family stuff. One night, I went to her apartment, unannounced. I had a bad feeling. And when she opened the door, her face was a mask. What are you doing here, Jess? She asked, her voice cold. I stepped inside, and that's when I saw it. A picture on her coffee table. A picture of Ashley and Mark. And another one. And another. All of them, recent. And then, I saw the pregnancy test box in the trash. Positive. My stomach dropped again, this time for a different reason. Chloe, I said, my voice barely a whisper. What's going on? She looked at me, her eyes hardened. He's my husband now, Jessica. Mark is. And we're having a baby. My brain just shut down. Mark? Chloe? Married? And pregnant? I must have looked like an idiot. She just stared at me, a strange, triumphant look on her face. You see, Jessica, she said, her voice dripping with venom. Ashley always tried to make me feel like I was less than her. She always had everything. But I knew she was messing around with Mark for months. And I knew you were too blind to see it. So, I just waited. I waited for her to push you away, and I waited for Mark to get tired of her. And then, when you two started your little thing, she gestured vaguely, I knew it was my chance. I've always wanted what Ashley had. And now I have it all. I just stood there speechless. The full weight of it all hitting me. The living apart was a setup, not just for Ashley to be with Mark, but for Chloe to get her claws into him too. And me? I was just a pawn in their twisted game. I was used. Not just by Ashley, but by Chloe too. They had both played me, and I hadn't seen a thing. So here I am now. Divorced from Ashley, who's now a single mom because Mark, that predictable idiot, skipped town as soon as he heard about the baby. Chloe's stuck raising a baby by herself, bitter and alone, just like she always wanted Ashley to be. And me? I'm alone too. Not that I care. Ashley got what she deserved, losing her man and having a baby with no one to support her. Chloe thought she was so smart, getting pregnant to trap him, and look where that got her. Served her right for being so sneaky. I don't regret anything I did. I regret that it all turned out this way, that I got caught in the middle of their messed up family drama. It's not fair, really. I was just trying to find someone who actually cared about me. But I guess that's just how it goes sometimes. People are just out for themselves. And I'm just going to keep on living my life, because honestly, I don't care anymore what anyone else thinks. They can all go to blazes for all I care.